Lebanon has been battling a crippling economic crisis for a while, and poor in Lebanon who have been struggling with unemployment, soaring inflation, have been pushed to the brink by the coronavirus pandemic. Lebanon has been gripped by anti-government protests for months. The protesters have been demanding basic necessities of life like food, clean water and healthcare, but things have gone from bad to worse. The Lebanese pound has been in free fall, and the COVID-19 induced lockdown has turned a severe economic crisis into a massive humanitarian one. For Amer Al-Dan, a Tripoli resident, the idea of eating meat is now a dream, as he cannot even afford bread. He, like many other of his neighbours, depends on credit from the local grocer to feed his family of 6, including his wife and 4 children. Lebanon's economy is heavily dependent on imports, and the value of the Lebanese pound has sunk by at least 80% since October, which has driven up the prices. The ongoing crisis is being seen as the biggest threat to Lebanon's stability since the 1975 to 1990 civil war. Reports indicate that food prices have gone up by over 50% since the beginning of lockdown. Food items as basic as chickpeas, beans and lentils, which have traditionally been a staple part of the Lebanese diet, are beyond the reach of many. Even items needed to maintain basic hygiene, such as shampoo, detergent powder or soap, have become unaffordable. The question is, how did the situation worsen so much? Much before the pandemic swept across the world, Lebanon has been dealing with a refugee crisis. A war in neighboring Syria has lasted for almost a decade as one of the biggest factors in the present conditions of Lebanon. Lebanon draws international aid worth millions of dollars every year, the bulk of which is directed at the 1 million Syrians who fled from the civil war in their country.
I would say it's of fundamental importance to make a distinguish with what do we have at hand. People talk about socioeconomic crisis, but what do we have at hand in Lebanon is humanitarian crisis. The moment you have over 40-50% of people unable to access food, water, drinkable water, health and shelter facilities, that's a humanitarian crisis that requires imminent intervention.
The World Bank warned last November that the majority of Lebanese population could be pushed into poverty if conditions worsened. Lebanon's talks with the IMF for a bailout have been stalled for a while now. Beirut's traditional benefactors, like the Gulf states, are battling their own COVID-induced challenges and unlikely to offer much assistance. In times like these, the challenges before a large section of the Lebanese population might become even tougher in times to come.